was in the middle of Piddling in the street when I was caught by the superintendent. I don't know why I admitted that.
Greetings and welcome back to another reaction video. Today's video is entitled Guessing What These Southern US Words Mean. Like the video, subscribe. That's enough of my jibber jabber. Let's get on with the video.
Lawrence, and I'm on a quest to uncover all of the memos that Britain and America lost in the pond, and one of those memos pertains to words. You know, with the world being the way that it is, I've been getting quite nostalgic recently. Nostalgic for my youth, nostalgic for when hair gel still had meaning for me, and nostalgic for the early days of my YouTube channel. Because you see, the first ever Lost in the Pond video was me trying to clumsily work out the meaning behind some obscure slang. And it occurred to me at 3 AM this morning that I haven't done a video like that ever since. And so now that I've lived in the Midwest for quite a while, I thought, why not broaden my reach? Why not step out of the expert mode once in a while and put myself before the mercy of the internet? And so to reignite things in this regional guessing game, I decided a good place to start would be the South. And so my team has thrown together a list of Southern slang words that they found on one of those listicle websites, meaning that these words could be of questionable accuracy. And I, a person who spent very little time in the Southern United States, I'm going to do my best to guess their meaning. Buggy.
Buggy. Buggy. So I would say buggy is what we would say trolley, but a lot of you would say shopping cart. Buggy for us over here would probably mean like a bit like a pram for you put kids in and push them along.
Buggy could mean many things. It could be a rabbit, you know, like Bugs Bunny. It's like an amalgamation of the two. And I imagine this buggy has been run over by an actual buggy. So it's probably not that. It's very deeply specific. Or it could be one of those things that you push a baby around in.
Yeah. Like
a pram or something. I don't have kids, so I don't.
I'm pretty sure the Southern meaning of it is like a shopping cart or trolley.
Know how that works. But I think it's one of those, isn't it? Because I think that America has a few different terms for that contraption, just as Britain does. And I believe that's what Southerners call it. Okay, and for all of these, I will look up the meaning in real time. This was, in fact, a shopping cart.
Yeah.
Or shopping trolley, as we say in England. Sometimes you put babies in them. Okay.
Fixing. I've heard this a few times. Does that mean like getting ready? Getting ready, whether it's getting dinner ready or something like that? I can't remember. Wow.
Fixing, or fixing without a G, it doesn't mean to mend something, right? It means I'm getting ready to do something, as in I am fixing to go and, you know, I don't know why I'm doing this, start a fight down at the bar because I'm in the middle of a country song, I suppose. And that's what it means. I heard that one, I think, in films before I moved to the US, so I'm quite aware of that one. I've probably heard it in the Midwest. I bet that's true of a lot of the ones here. Let's just confirm that I'm correct. I am indeed correct. Is it druthers or druthers?
Druthers. I have heard of this. I can't think. I can't think what it is. Don't know.
Druthers, right. So druthers, to me, has to be one of those portmanteaus where you take one word and another word and you sort of combine them to make one singular word. And my belief here is that somebody's taken the word brothers and the word dream and has made druthers, and that would make no sense. The real truth of the matter is, according to this, is that druthers is usually used in a phrase like, if I had my druthers, as in, if I had it my way.
Oh.
So an example would be, if I had my druthers, I would cheat and look these answers up before doing the video. Hoe cake.
Hoe cake. Ugh. Don't know. I have heard of this before. Why am I rubbish? Sorry, everyone in the South. Sorry.
Sounds like something you should not call your significant other. And it's probably...
Hoe cake. Do you have like a hoedown? Is it like a party cake? That's guessing.
Actually a type of cake. I think it is. I think I've seen this in a list of American desserts, but I don't know what it entails. Hoe cakes look like pancakes, but taste like dense cornbread. You're supposed to serve it with greens and corn, apparently.
Oh, catawampus. Oh, I'm so sorry. I can't remember. Catawampus. I'm sorry.
Ah, yes, catawampus. I've heard this before. In fact, I think when I lived in Indiana, I heard people saying cattywampus. So it could be regional, or it could just be, you know, choose your favorite variant. But it basically means that something, I think, is diagonal from something, or it's askew in some capacity. All right, so let's see.
Like a tangent.
It describes something that's askew, awry, or diagonal, as in we tried setting it up straight, but it ended up catawampus. What an amazing word.
It is.
Piddling.
Piddling. Over here, we'd say piddling is going to the restroom or going for like a number one wee-wee. But piddling, does that mean, I mean, you could say piddling around in terms of messing around, like procrastinating, not getting to the point.
That, it sounds like a euphemism to me. To me, piddling sounds like something you'd tell your kid to say when they want to go for a number one. I was in the middle of piddling in the street when I was caught by the superintendent. I don't know why I admitted that. But I've also heard piddling as in piddling around.
Yeah.
You know, when you're not really doing much, you're just sort of piddling around because I'm not very busy. I am busy because I'm a YouTube sensation. But in the off chance that I'm not busy, which hasn't been the case in 20 years, then it could be said that I've been piddling around. Indeed, it means neither of those things in the South. It means, apparently, something small or trivial. An example being that you might get something more than a piddling raise from your company this year.
Like measly raise. Ah, interesting.
I like that one.
Yeah.
I'm going to use that more often. Though I suppose now, if you see me in a gent's toilets and I tell you that I'm piddling, it takes on a whole different meaning.
Oh my days, that's brilliant. Commode. Now, I would say commode is like, and I only know this because when I was younger, in my early 20s, I had something called a spontaneous pneumothorax, which basically means my lung collapsed, a hole appeared. So I had to have surgery and all sorts. I was actually gigging. And it was like the third from the last song, and I think it was the second or third time it went. Being the legend I am, I finished the gig and then went to hospital. Really, really stupid. You don't do things like that if you ever have a pneumothorax. It is really, really dangerous. But where I'm going with this, I was strapped to a machine to the wall and had a pipe that goes through the pleura, which is like the sac that goes around the lung, and it's drawing air out constantly. And the reason I know about commode, or what we say commode over here, is because I was literally wired up to the wall. I couldn't go to the toilet or the restroom, and I had to use something called a commode. I laugh about it now, but it's really embarrassing because I was early 20s. It was hard to ask to go to the toilet. So, you know, you've got a bedpan or whatever for number ones. Quite strange. I couldn't lay down and wee. I had to stand up and do it. But yeah, when I wanted to go for number two, you had to ask for the commode, which is like it's basically like a wheelchair, but with a seat on, and you do your business, and like a bucket kind of, crudely, it's not quite a bucket, but underneath. And I can remember being really embarrassed. And of course, you're in a ward. There was 6 of us, male ward, and there's all the nurses were there. And I was like, oh no, I really need to go to the toilet. Really need to go for number 2. And I said to the nurse, "Excuse me, nurse, can I use the commode?" She goes, "What?" I said, I need to go to the toilet. Can I use the commode?" Hey? I said, "Can I use the commode? I need to go to the toilet." She goes, "Oh, you want the commode, do you? Susan, can you get the commode? Because Mr. H wants to go to the toilet." And I was like, oh, God, it's so embarrassing. It's silly now. Think about it. If I was in my early time, I think I was 21. And they came out. And then to put the thing around. And, it was really quiet. Everyone can hear everything. And, yes. Yeah, that was my introduction. I'm going to look really stupid if commode isn't like a mobile toilet.
I know this one. Do you know why I know this one? Because I remember Stone Cold Steve Austin used it once in wrestling, and I didn't then know what it meant, so I looked it up. And it just takes us back to the bathrooms, to the toilets where we were earlier, metaphorically. And it basically means toilet. Of course, I just have to check that Stone Cold Steve Austin isn't a liar. And indeed, he's not a liar.
Yay!
It is a bog. a toilet, a loo.
John.
No, he didn't wrestle a toilet. He tried to flush somebody's head down one once, I think. Doohickey.
Doohickey. Now, I've heard of it. Doohickey. Doohickey. I don't know. How are you getting on? Let me know in the comments below how you're doing. I'm sure you're doing better than I am.
I am genuinely familiar with this word. There are so many American English coinages that employ consecutive instances of the letter O. And this is another example. The problem is I can't remember what it means.
No.
Doohickey, 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 doohickey. It doesn't mean go forth and bite somebody's neck, although I can see why you might think that.
Hickey.
It just means, isn't it some sort of object? Doesn't it mean some kind of object? Or I'm thinking of another word, aren't I? What is the other word I'm thinking of that's similar to that? Like a thingamajig. This is really irritating. I can't remember what it is. We'll have to look it up. So let's have a look. So calling something a doohickey means that you forget what the item is actually called. So the word
thingamajig kind of thing.
word is synonymous with phrases like thingamajig. And I say it.
Hush up. Now, I would say hush is like shh, be quiet. Shh, shh. Quit your jibber jabber. Hush up. But it could mean hurry up. But hush to us is like noise, like hush, shh, hush, hush up, shh, shut up kind of thing. But hush up, I don't know, it could mean hurry up.
Hush up is presumably self-explanatory and hopefully isn't something that you're yelling at your screen, because it's a combination, it seems, of shut up and hush. It just means be quiet. Indeed, it is that.
Yeah.
This site seems to claim that it's a politer form of shut up. I'm not sure that's true. They both sound a little bit mean.
Quit your jibber jabber. Plum. Don't know. I don't know.
Plum, but with a B
B.
on the end. So it's not the fruit, presumably, unless that is the southern way of spelling it and they just haven't told the rest of the world.
Oh, you're a plum. I've heard of that. You're a plum, which means you're a bit of a wally. Bit silly.
Other than that, I mean, you can get like a plum new job, right? I think that's in most of the English-speaking world. So I don't think it would be that. I mean, I suppose it depends if this is a noun or a verb or an adjective. I have no context for these things. Plum, in this sense, just means, oh gosh darn it, oh plum, oh crumbs. It rhymes with crumbs, so it could be that. Oh plum, I can't get into the commode right now because there are too many people in there. I'm getting really carried away by this toilet metaphor. Let's have a look what it really means. South of the Mason-Dixon line, plum means completely, totally.
Oh.
So I was, wildly off the mark with
Me too.
that one. An example they give, I'm plumb tired after this long day.
Wow.
If you
Hoppin' John. If I was to guess, I'd say happy. I'm hopping John, not jumping over a toilet or hopping over a toilet, which I wonder if Lawrence is going to say, John, toilet, going back to toilet. But I looking at that, my immediate would say hopping John, happy. I'm hopping John. I'm not sure what accent that was, but hopping John.
If you'd have asked me to guess the phrase Hoppin' John just 2 years ago, I wouldn't have had a clue. But last year in a video, I gave my verdict on Hoppin' John.
Oh.
Hoppin' John is a food item that some Southerners will eat at New Year for good luck, and it contains black-eyed peas and rice, and it was really, really nice.
Wow.
I genuinely would eat that again. But it's not something that's well known outside of the South, or at least certainly not up here in the Midwest, and I definitely never heard of it when I lived in Britain.
Wow. If you're not from the South, let me know in the comments below if you've heard of hopping John.
Washateria.
I would say washateria is like what we would say a laundrette. That's what we'd say over here, laundrette, which is like you go to a place that's got lots of washing machines and tumble dryers and things like that. And you go in, you put your money in and you do your washing. So you go in with your washing basket, put your clothes in, put your money in. That's what I'd say, a laundrette.
Sounds like cafeteria with the word wash at the start instead of cafe. So it's a place where you go and wash your food. What makes more sense, actually, now that I've thought about it, is it could be a name for what I would call a laundrette in the UK and what we call a laundromat here in Chicago. I'm
laundromat.
glad I amended that, by the way, because a cafeteria where you wash your food sounds like a really odd concept. A washateria is indeed a chain of laundromats in Texas specifically.
Texas.
As a synonym for laundromat.
If you're from Texas, let us know in the comments below. Howdy, guys.
Laundromat itself. Hissy.
Hissy. Now, I would say hissy fit. If someone's having a hissy fit, like going mad, someone gets triggered and they're going... That's what I would say hissy means.
That is a word that I've used to describe my wife's cousin Chad's vocal style, but also you use that term in the sense of hissy fit.
Yeah.
To throw a wobbler.
Yeah.
To have a conniption or a conniption fit. So I'd imagine that if hissy is being used on its own, it's a shortening, perhaps, of hissy fit. That's sort of correct, although the example they give suggests that the word is used in a sentence that's structured slightly differently. He's getting hissy because we didn't stop for food.
Ooh.
All right, one.
Mudding. Mudding, I would guess and say it's like stirring up, metaphorically stirring someone up in terms of winding them up, mudding the waters kind of thing. Mudding, yeah, sort of winding someone up or casting aspersions kind of thing.
So the last one, this one is mudding, and mudding could mean one of two things. It could be an alternative.
Oh, isn't it mudding? Isn't it a race? Isn't it some kind of like race on like quads or something, and it's like through loads of mud? I don't know.
The word muddling. So muddling through. Just
Yeah.
like I'm muddling through these answers. It could be it could be a way of saying we are making muddy butters.
Muddy
Particular
buddies.
activity involves racing through terrains that are, you guessed it, muddy,
Yeah.
like wet fields and lake beds. So the vehicle gets totally caked with dirt. That sounds amazing.
Yeah.
And you know that I believe that.
I want to go mudding. If you've been mudding, let me know in the comments below. I bet that is awesome.
Because I almost went high-pitched.
Thank you so much for sticking around and watching this amazing video with me. Let me know in the comments below. Did you get all of these right? Were there any that threw you? Let me know in the comments below. Like the video, you absolute bloody legends. Love you. And if you haven't already, please subscribe. Join our family as we and my family delve into all things USA. You take care, you God bless, and see y'all in the next video.